Okay, well, now we're at the part of the show where we talk about what we've been like thinking about, what we've been watching. I mean, not thinking about, like what what's gotten you through the pandemic, Rich? Anything anything you stream that you liked, or any
Just
recommendations?
everything. I've been having weird taste. Like this week, I've been watching all of John Hughes's films.
Oh, you
Just because
that's great.
I
Can't go wrong
just
with
all of them. Just how they're shot, how they're all shot in Chicago.
Yeah.
I kind of had a revelation this week.
Okay.
So my friends were like, watch Bridgerton. Have you seen Bridgerton on Netflix?
I haven't yet. No, it's like a real like bodice ripper. They say, right? It's like period.
It's like a period piece, like kind of softcore period piece porn type stuff, but real British, real like takes place in the 1700s. Everyone's dressed like the 1700s. And it's funny. So it's written on the fact that like nothing existed as we know right now. It's just written as a period piece. So I'm watching it, and the first 5 minutes, the Queen of England is black. So my internal clock, I'm history minor, internal clock stops and goes, well, this can't be true. The Queen's black. and so it's written on the fact that it's written to the point where if slavery didn't exist, if nothing existed, there's a princess black, like, there's a lot of black characters in this, which I realized I was like, I'm not a racist person by any means, but it stopped me in my tracks going, she can't be queen. And then I realized I was like, yeah, she can. This isn't, someone wrote this not following the guidelines of, what happened from the 1600s on,
I think Hamilton sort of prepped us for this.
They did.
He kind of did that too, and I think that's the most interesting thing I've heard about that. So I might check that out now.
I kind of felt that way about Schitt's Creek, where they built a town where there's no racism, there's no homophobia. It's
everybody's
never addressed.
Okay with, I know,
and that's something that, like, watching it, it took me a while to go, wait, there's the gay couple, and everyone's just like, oh, well, there's such and such. You don't get that whispery.
Yeah. Well, do you remember the movie Lars and the Real Girl with Ryan Gosling, and he had that doll that he was in love with? You ever see that?
Yeah.
What I loved about that movie was everybody was just totally supportive in this little small town of him, kind of eccentric guy who was in love with a sex doll.
Yeah.
Right.
And like, you do you, man. Good
and
for
it was
you.
like, I kind of dug that.
I just watched it. I started watching Ted Lasso.
I gotta watch.
Okay, I haven't gotten into that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I've heard good things about it, but I haven't watched it. I sat down. I watched the entire season in one sitting. It was so good, and I have to say it was so positive and uplifting. And like, there's moments where you'll cry, but it's out of like kindness. It's really, really. I highly recommend it. I mean, I watched it. I was like, this. Immediately, I said Bill Lawrence, who did the show. I was like, I fucking love Ted Lasso. He's like, thank you. So I was so blown away by it, because it was just, it's so well done. The acting's great, the writing is great, but it was such a positive, wonderful thing to watch during.
A buddy of mine wrote on that show, Bill Rubel. I want to. I'm gonna watch it.
My friend Brett Goldstein. I don't know if you know Brett. I've done stand up and stuff with him. He's in it, and he's fantastic. Jason Sudeikis is phenomenal, but highly recommend that.
Yeah, I need to see that. I'll put it on my list.
Wonder Woman 1984.
The best movie I've ever seen.
I started watching it 2 weeks ago. It's still going.
That movie it's unbelievable. Like, everybody told me how bad it was. I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch this, and it was worse.
It was.
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought it was funny that it's called Wonder Woman. She's never called Wonder Woman. She's Diana.
Right.
I'm like, my mom's friends are named Diana, and the villain was Barbara. I'm like, are we really Diana and Barbara?
It had no reason to be in the 80s. They exploited that not at all. Also, for the whole movie, which they never talk about, Wonder Woman is raping some guy because it's just his body. Like, we don't know. Like, we don't even care. Oh, who cares? Chris Pine came in and took his body. We're just totally fine with that. We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, some guy that has been fully fucking, Patrick Swayze ghosted.
Yeah.
She's just going to town on this guy.
It's just the stupidest, horrible movie.
Yeah, it was. Another thing I watched on Disney Plus was that movie Soul.
I like that. Did you
I haven't seen that yet.
fucking loved it. I didn't know anything about what it was about, and I loved it. I
thought Soul was fantastic, and I mean, there are Pixar movies like I still probably like Coco more, but I will say the animation in that in Soul World where they is some of the coolest animation I've ever seen in anything. It's just fantastic, and it's such heart, and it was beautiful.
I need to watch that. I'll watch that tonight.
Yeah, definitely watch it. And when you see these images of them in New York, the way that New York looks, like this animation, I was blown away. I couldn't believe like how that's so crazy how they can do that now. Like just the things that
gorgeous.
It's getting wild. I think in 20 years from now, what they're gonna be able to do just can blow my mind. I mean, 10 years ago, we had a flip phone 10 years ago, right? When did the iPhone come out? In like 2008?
I think like 2006 or something, I think maybe.
Do you know that after the Capitol Hill thing, you know that shot of Lindsey Graham going through the airport being
that
motherfucker had a flip phone.
Of course he did.
Yeah, of course he
did.
I
recorded it. I'll text it to both of you. He had a flip phone. I was like, that's par for the course for Lindsey Graham. Why wouldn't you have a flip phone?
Yeah.
Motorola Razor. Danny, what have you watched?
So both of those things, Wonder Woman 84, Soul, I got hooked on. A friend of mine recommended this series, and it's a French series, subtitled, called, out here it's called Call My Agent. Mm-hmm. And I guess there it was called 10% in French. And it's about this talent agency in Paris, and they bring in real actors. I didn't realize this till way long into it, that it was like, oh, those are actual actors. But the characters in it are so good. It's funny. I mean, it's French, so there's like, they do a couple stupid things, but it's like the plot sometimes relied on too much coincidence, which is like something in French farce. But it was really like amazing and good.
Where is that at?
Call My Agent on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. Okay.
And season 4 comes out, and they did 3 seasons, and season 4 comes out in like a week. I can't wait.
Fantastic.
Oh wow, Call Me. All right, I'm putting that on
My Agent.
I haven't watched a couple of these. I mean, I haven't even heard of some.
I haven't heard of this one either. So